We are.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our back to school webinar, Unlocking Literacy.
Guide to back to school success. We are really excited to have with us tonight some of our amazing ambassadors who are educators, administrators, school librarians, and more, who are here to share some of their favorite read alouds and tips and tricks to kick off the school year with Novel Effect. I'm Tracy, by the way. I am product engagement manager at Novel Effect. And
I'm Catherine. I am our content and curriculum specialist. You also might have seen me on our social media too, if you follow us, where I'm also in charge of all our social also.
So tonight we are going to start off with a demo and an overview of Novel Effect, which will be a lot of fun for those of you who are new to Novel Effect. And then our ambassadors are going, Ben, Tiana, Heather, Melissa, and Blake are going to be sharing some of their favorite engaging read alouds that support learning, as well as some of their favorite resources that support building community and support the curriculum in the classroom and laying those foundations that will help make a really engaging and smooth year for you. And then we'll end with some questions and answers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
um, Also, super exciting. You have the chance to win a Read Aloud Rockstar Kit, some Novel Effect books, and in that Rockstar Kit, that also includes 1-year subscription to Novel Effect. And to enter, you will post one takeaway from this webinar on Twitter or Instagram and tag us. Instagram is at novel_effect. And I believe it is the same on Twitter. Let me look real quick. And Tracy, do you want to explain what is in the Read Aloud Rockstar Kit?
Oh, absolutely. It has some of my most favorite things that just make it easier to have an engaging read aloud with Novel Effect. So a Rockstar kit is everything you need for super fun read alouds. It has a tote bag to carry or organize your read aloud books in. It comes with a Bluetooth speaker, which is super amazing to really amplify those sound effects and the soundscapes that will just draw your little readers in. It comes with some book stickers so you can get some shelf control and easily find your Novel Effect books. And then it also comes with these really cool lanyards that you can wear around your neck, but it's not an ordinary lanyard. What it does is you can put your phone in the lanyard and you can have a really great hands-free read aloud and still have the magic of Novel Effect with you
I
right
love
along
those
with you.
lanyards. I especially
Mhm.
love like flipping my phone upside down and having the microphone pointing upwards
Oh,
when I'm reading with Novel Effect.
that is a super, super important tip. Oh, we want to share anything else about giveaways, Catherine?
Um, I don't think so.
No, just like you'll contact folks in their DMs, right?
Right. So you'll post a takeaway from this webinar, tag us on Twitter or Instagram, and then we will pick a winner.
Awesome. All right. So Catherine and I are both former educators. I used to be a school librarian and a classroom teacher and a technology integrationist. And we hear from educators, no matter what their role is, so many reasons why they love using Novel Effect to power their read alouds. And they include the fact that they are make their read aloud multi-sensory. And so the kids are hearing you read the story, and then They are seeing the pictures on the page while you're reading, and then the soundscapes just add that extra layer that draws them in and helps create that emotion and underlying tone. And that just really sparks engagement for them as they're really laser focused on what's happening in the book. They also love it because the soundscapes really help create calm, focused learning environments. We're going to talk about this a little bit more, but there is some research behind the use of music, and novel effect soundscapes are definitely powered by custom designed music to support the story, the theme, the tone, some of the emotions that are happening with the characters. And so you'll notice some of those shifts, and even like when we share one of our favorite read alouds in a moment. And because the kids know what to expect, they get super excited, but like not overly excited. They're excited in the sense that they are ready and eager to hear what's going to happen in the soundscape, and it makes them very, very focused and attentive during learning. And then it also like really helps boost their literacy because it makes those abstract concepts really concrete for them, so it helps them understand things like a shift in emotion, or understanding some vocabulary that they might be unfamiliar with, or even helping them like see a compare and a contrast, like how a character might be changing or shifting over time. And we've heard from a lot of different educators the way it just supports a really wide range of learners, whether they are acquiring English as a new language, or if they have a hearing impairment, or if they like, we get a lot of feedback from educators who work with children with autism and how it really helps them while they're reading and attune and focus, as well as other learning needs.
Even me, like when I am listening or reading with the novel effect soundscape for the first time, I find that
Mhm.
it really helps me also tune into the illustrations.
Oh my
So
gosh,
for
yes.
example, we just did Mr. S. We came out with
Mhm.
a soundscape for it, and we were reading it together. And the soundscape actually like alerted me to look at the background of one of the illustrations, because through the window you could see like a little car crash going on outside. But I had totally missed that myself. So when that sound effect popped up, it definitely makes me look at those details even closer and comprehend the story better.
150%.
So, I think most people on here have read with Novel Effect before, but if you haven't, you're in for a treat. So, Novel Effect is our app that, as you read aloud your favorite books, it adds music, sound effects, and character voices, and it actually tracks with your voice. So, it's not like a pre-made soundtrack. It is an interactive soundscape that, as you read a sequence of words, it will respond to you,
Mhm.
which I think is so cool. So you could stop, manage behavior, ask questions for students, and it will actually wait for you. And you'll see that happen in just a second. Um, we also are commonly asked, what books can I read with novel effect? And we have a growing library. We have over 1,000 of your favorite picture books and classics on there right now. And our soundscape artists are adding new ones every week. We also have a collection of Spanish titles, which I think is really cool, as well as ebooks that you can read right in the app with novel effect.
Yep, and we have a continuously growing collection of oh, wait, you just said ebooks. Catherine, I don't think I took a long enough nap today.
I got mine in, so we're good.
All right. So you're going to see a lot of what Catherine and I were just talking about, what novel effect looks like in action, as she is reading one of our favorites. And I know a lot of educators and families really love reading this book with novel effect as well. Dragons love tacos. And you're going to notice the soundscape, which is the combination of the music, sound effects, and character voices while Catherine's reading, and she'll point out a few things while she's reading.
You can see that Dragons Love Tacos is up on my screen. This is that music note I mentioned. So you're going to click this. It says print because we're reading a print copy of the book. I can just put my phone down and start reading whenever I'm ready. Dragons Love Tacos. Notice it's waiting for me. It's not skipping ahead. Hey, kid.
Hey, what?
Did you know that dragons love tacos?
Wow.
They love beef tacos and chicken tacos. They love really big, gigantic tacos and tiny little baby tacos as well.
Baby tacos.
So, again, you can hear the music, but it's waiting for me. Why do dragons love tacos? Maybe it's the smell from the sizzling pan. Maybe it's the crunch of the crispy tortillas. Maybe it's a secret. So you can see how this novel effect soundscape is also really good for teaching vocabulary skills. For example, sizzling. We heard the sound effect for sizzling in the pan. And also, notice novel effect is waiting for me. So you can have conversations like this with your students, ask comprehension questions, manage behavior, and the app will literally wait until you continue reading again. So I'm going to skip some pages to show you again how that works. These dragons love your taco party. They love the music. They love the decorations. They especially love the tacos. Congratulations. I like this page. It's a good thing you got rid of all that spicy. Wait a second. What are those little green things in the salsa? You didn't read the fine print?
Yeah. That's the most important part.
So I'll go ahead and stop it here. But that is novel effect in action, and how cool is that? It is so cool. I will answer my own question.
I was just going to do the same thing.
You can see that dragons love taco.
I know, it does that sometimes. So some things that really make novel effect work well when you're doing a live read aloud is to test it out. If you can practice before you do the read aloud, this is really awesome because then you get a sense of when a character is going to speak. So you will have an idea of when you might want to pause, or like what kind of reaction that might cause with the kids, or like how that might draw them into the book, or like what Catherine was pointing out with the vocabulary, knowing how you can use the soundscape to help build vocabulary with the students.
We also recommend using a speaker. So when I was in small groups with students, I could just use it on my phone, maybe 4 or 5 kids around me. But in a whole class setting, definitely use a Bluetooth speaker so that all of the students can clearly hear all of the fun sound effects and character voices. As you saw, you can chat with students. The app will wait for you. I think that's the coolest feature ever. And we have book activities for many of the most popular books in our app created by me. And I was big on differentiation in the classroom, giving students in the class different levels that suited them best. And so definitely incorporate that into the book activities. And I wish I had this resource when I was in the classroom because it takes all of the lesson planning out of it. You can just pop through the book activities, pick the ones you want, print, and you're good to go.
Catherine, I think one of the other things that are included in the book activities that I think are just so helpful and so powerful are the discussion questions and writing prompts that you include in there. In a couple of the no print activities where you're really supporting both the teacher to make it a really interactive read aloud with that extra layer of conversation, as well as that interaction between the kids. And it helps
Yeah,
it easily hold it up.
the no print activities at the end, I always keep in mind, like, librarians when I'm writing those,
Mhm,
if they
mhm.
have some extra time, just, like, fun community building activities.
Yeah. All right. Oh my gosh. So we would love to hear from you in the chat. What are some of your favorite back to school read alouds? And, thinking about some of your favorite read alouds that you love to do with novel effect at the beginning of the year. I know I have a couple of favorites for sure. Oh, look
One of mine is What If Everybody Did That?
at
And that's also a really good Earth Day title, but I loved that because I could always use that phrase throughout the school year. If I was seeing like, a behavior that we didn't necessarily want in the classroom, like just think, what if everybody did that? And I feel like it was a good way for them to like connect back to the book, but also like think through their actions.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too. I'm seeing a lot of We Don't Eat Our Classmates, which is
Yeah.
is
And that
like
soundscape is especially funny.
it is and like a nice current classic. I too, Connie, love A Perfectly Messed Up Story. It is just so adorable, and great for teaching, like, how to care for books. Love, love, love. These are all
And I
good ones.
see Rebecca asked if it can work on an iPad. So Novel Effect does work on Chromebooks and iPads and tablets as well.
Yeah. Um, I love these, like, Invisible Boy, the Date, sorry, Name Jar, All Are Welcome, I'm seeing, Your Name is a Song, Amy Wu and the Warm Welcome, 100%. Yep. Oh, if you take a mouse.
To school. Yeah, that's a new one we
Mhm,
just added.
mhm.
Do
Do
unto others is good too. I like that.
Yeah. I see, Chrysanthemum in there also.
Yeah, Recess Queen with Mean Gene. We have that one as well. And most of these books that you're listing also have the no prep activities. So if you love reading these books, check out the activities in our app because your lesson
Mm.
planning will be done.
Oh, 100%. You know, if you're someone who loves to establish, like, hopes and goals with kids at the beginning of the school year, I know when I was a classroom teacher, I loved doing that. It was, like, my tried and true activity. Some of the books that I love to use, I also did it in the library, were, like, May Among the Stars, I Promise, Salt in His Shoes, Magical Yet. Those, The Day You Begin, like, those are all some really great books. The library line, yeah. And then I was just looking at Stick and Stone on this slide also, which is great for helping kids with friendship and establishing friendship and working together.
And actually, I'm going to add this in here. Our most popular read aloud so far for back to school is
Mhm.
Do Not Bring Your Dragon to the Library.
Mhm.
And that one is great for classroom teachers and librarians, but I think it's especially funny and great if you're bringing the kids to the library for the first time, or maybe it's your first day in the library. That one's really fun.
It is a lot of fun. And that's one of those books. I know Catherine and I were just talking about that I didn't even know it existed until I had Novel Effect. And so I really love that oftentimes, like, as a librarian, I was like, oh, I didn't know about this book. But the Novel Effect app really helped introduce me to some new and fresh titles.
Totally. Yeah, I definitely found I was reading the same books over and over again. So it's fun to see the new ones come out on Novel Effect.
Yeah. And then, just one more thing before I move on is that so we have a few back to school collections in the Novel Effect app. There is a collection for educators and a collection for families. The one for educators has has titles related to helping kids, establish friendships, helping them learn, and helping you teach the rules and routines and some behavior expectations, and really lay those foundations around classroom management, collection around growth mindset, and then the other one is escaping me, so I have to pull up my.
Routines. I know we have one about
We
routines.
do. I'm pulling up my app to take a peek. because it just like went from my brain. Classroom culture and like how you want to build the class to like feel and look as a learning environment. Awesome. All right. So we are going to pass this on now to our amazing ambassadors, and we're going to introduce Ben. All right. Uh-oh, Catherine, he's hidden in my little, here we go. Got him.
Oh.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, sorry, I had to unmute real quick.
Oh, no problems. Take it away, my friend.
All right, well, thank you so much. Like I said, my name is Ben Gazaway. I'm a preschool teacher in Kentucky. Been teaching preschool now this will be my 6th year, and this is actually my 2nd year with Novel Effect, and it is by far my favorite tool for my classroom because, like the slides there, it is really great about igniting engagement with students. So I've got, in my preschool classroom, I've got 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, and even a few 5-year-olds that missed that kindergarten cutoff day just by a couple of days. So you really want to get them engaged in listening to the story. And I have a lot of different students. I have students with autism and other with ADHD and different things like that. But as soon as I use a novel effects story, they are glued to the carpet. They are so engaged with the story, and to them it's like one of them old still movies, and they just really enjoy it. They look forward to it. Even in our library center, we have a little section of novel effect stories, and I get pulled during center time like every 5 minutes. Come read this one to me, come read this one to me. And those are the ones I always want. Out of all the other books in our library center, the novel effects ones are the ones they want me to read to them. So in the spirit of being back to school, I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys a couple of my favorites that I read at the beginning of the year. One is kind of a little funny there. It is The Wonky Donkey. And I know some people are probably thinking, what does that have to do with back to school? The reason why I like to do this one in the beginning of the year is just because a lot of those students who come into my classroom have never been away from home before, especially in the last few years with COVID. They never got the chance to go anywhere else and be around other people. So when they first come to my classroom, a lot of them, they're a little nervous. They're a little timid. And so the novel effect soundscape for Wonky Donkey is hilarious. I can't do it on this thing with you guys, but there are different parts that they love. All the sound goofy effects. They really like this page here where it talks about him being a stinky donkey, and the sound effects that it makes with that. All the kids love it, and they get to laughing and giggling. And that's what I want the very first day of school, for them to be excited, to be happy, and to have a smile and be laughing. So that's why it is definitely one of my go-to favorites. And then we even play a little game afterwards where we fill in the rhyme. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey, hee-haw, and we each take turns and we act out a different thing. Like he had one eye. We then do another thing that says, and he had country music, and we go, yeehaw. And they make up their own. A lot of times they just repeat what they heard from the book, but it's really, really funny to get to do that with them, and it teaches them how to take turns. So I love doing that one. That's the first one I do. And at the end of the day, my second favorite one, this was one I saw someone in the comments, they put this was their favorite too for back to school, All Are Welcome. If you guys have a classroom with a lot of different students from different cultures, this is the book, guys, okay? I wish I had this my first year when I was teaching at another school. I had 5 languages in my classroom alone, and this would have been great. But I love it. It's all about inclusivity and getting everyone excited for the beginning of the school year and getting them to really know that they are a part of something and they are getting to be a part of a big community. I even then let them draw a little picture of themselves here. Just give them a little human cutout that they color. And then I try to put their faces with the picture. I take their faces and put it on here, and we put on a poster saying, all are welcome. It is really one of my favorite classroom traditions. I really look forward to the beginning of the year for those reasons, because the students get so excited. And I definitely agree with the speaker thing, but also those first couple of days, hide your speaker. It really they're like, what's going on here? They think it's a magic show. And so I highly recommend that would be really cool. All right, and let's see, Tracy. I think there was another gentleman who said not. I like I said, I use it with preschoolers, but I believe another gentleman he uses it even with his older students. Correct? Can't hear you guys.
Sorry. I wanted to on Ben's side and even talk about that. I've used this in middle school with my students. So lots of times people think this app is just for elementary students, but that's not the case. I'm an assistant principal now. I used to be a school librarian in primary, so I'll randomly go around to classes and do read alouds. We did a read aloud during our fifth grade experience day. So I just wanted to throw in there that even though people think that it's just for elementary, that's not the case. My middle school kids, they might think they're cool, but they're really not, and they enjoy it just as much as everyone else.
Yeah, Blake, you're right on that one. In fact, it's not even with that. My stepdad, who is nearly 60 years old, he gets a kick out of the soundscapes and the stories. So every time I bring a new book home from Barnes and Noble and I test it out when I'm up there with them, and he'll be laughing and going off like, "Oh my Lord!" So even not just little kids, everyone can love it. It's just so fun.
Yep, I 100% agree with you.
Oh, so much fun. Blake, what are some of your favorite books that you've in soundscapes that you've used with older kids and your staff?
So I've used this I've been doing We Don't Hear Classmates with the older kids. A lot of them had either not heard of it or they had not heard the soundscape, so we used that one. And then this year during in service, my principal and I wanted to do the growth mindset, so we did the magical yet, and I mean it's a wonderful book. And they're coming out with a sequel to this book. I can't remember the name. They're coming out with a sequel to it as well. So even my staff members, they enjoyed it.
I was gonna say it's called The What Ifs, but that's
that,
a different book.
There's another one, but I can't remember what it is. But there is a sequel coming out.
There is, and I can't help it. I'm so curious The Curious Why.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Yes.
Yep. That's awesome. I was just thinking about how both Ben and Blake, you were just talking about really creating that like welcoming environment for the kids, and you do that through the engaging aspect of novel effect, and it just really helps everyone feel welcome and invited and just really safe, and like school is a safe place to read, and it's just a safe place to be, and that reading can be a lot of fun.
Right, and it adds the fun into it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is great for it because I don't have my preschool students yet, but every year, one of my friends in sixth grade that's a teacher, we have started this tradition where I go in and read the book with no pictures on the first day. And the sixth graders, they lose their minds over it. They think it's the most hilarious thing in the world. And I think it's because it makes the teachers seem human, like, oh, they'll be silly. They're going to say weird things like that. If y'all have not read the book with no pictures, it is very, very funny. And so I think that's one of the reasons why she likes to do it every year, to show them, hey, we're human. We can have fun too.
Yep.
Yeah, it really lets us be silly. It's so much fun. Thanks, guys. Did you have anything you wanted to add on around engagement?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm just going to add on one little tidbit is that research has shown that when students are engaged, it really helps increase their motivation, and they're just more eager to learn, and it just makes them a lot more comfortable to collaborate with their classmates. And we all know how important all of that is, and how that just really makes an impact on their overall academic success.
100%.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. So we are going to go on to calm and focus learning with Heather, right? All right, Heather. I have to pull you on up. Just remember to unmute yourself. Hi, Heather. Just tell us a little bit about what you do and all that good stuff.
There we go. Sorry, I couldn't get my unmute button to work.
You know what it is? The bottom is so like tiny compared to the rest of our screen.
It was so I'm Heather Brown. I'm currently a kindergarten through 5th grade math interventionist and STEAM teacher. Prior to this, I taught 3rd grade and 1st grade, and this is now my 15th year teaching, I believe. I know I taught some kids recently that said that they were born after I was started teaching and made me feel a little old. I wasn't too happy about that one. But anyways, so I am that goofy teacher that's all over the board, crazy, like to keep kids engaged. So Novel Effect helps me to keep the energy up, but at the same time, help them stay focused and learning. Now, one of the things, thinking back to when I was a kid, that I struggled with was paying attention and listening to nonfiction texts, because to me, they just weren't as funny. They weren't fun. And Novel Effect has helped change that. And now we're getting more and more nonfiction books that have the fun illustrations with them, and they turn them almost into stories. And so by Novel Effect having these nonfiction soundscapes, it really draws in those readers. And one of my favorites, sadly, I forgot all my books at school because, well, first week of school, is Counting on Catherine, which is about the Apollo mission. And when I taught 3rd grade, we did a huge space unit, and the kids got to make their own planets and everything. And so that book fits in well there. But it also allows you to help teach those routines and things. So your classroom is more predictable. They know what's going to happen. So instead of just having, the boring talk about what your school rules are and things like that, you can do things like I saw a lot of you mention, read, do unto others. So now they're learning the expectations while also getting to listen to that sound effect and having a good laugh at the same time. So again, I'm not usually very calm, but this helps them really stay focused with it, and it's perfect. And then it also helps to increase the on-task behavior, which obviously we really want, because we want that positive learning environment. We want to have a place where they want to come, where they want to learn, and it's built for them. So at the beginning of the school year, one of our favorite books to read with like kindergarten and 1st grade is Wemberly Worried, because the students are focused on the book, because not only is it a good story, but that soundscape really draws them in. And I love that these students can really make the connections to Wemberly and how she feels worried. My son just is starting kindergarten this year, and I've never seen this kid more worried in my life. So the fact that he can relate to a character while also having this book come to life with music and sounds and voices is perfect. And it's also a great SEL resource, which, as we all know at this point, we really need in our schools. And another favorite book is My Mouth is a Volcano, because at the beginning of the year especially, every student wants to share every single thing they did over the summer. And so that soundscape is excellent for helping them realize that you can't just blurt everything just because it's rumbling in your tummy and then comes out through your mouth. It teaches them to calm it down and hold it in until it's your turn. So really, Novel Effect has helped to make any classroom I help with into an area that's really beneficial to students, because they can stay focused on their learning. Even though I'm all over the place, they can stay calm. They know it's expected. And I know I didn't mention any math books, but I promise that there are math books like The Math Curse as well. And so, yeah, I just absolutely love Novel Effect and all the different fun soundscapes. And they're always coming out with more.
Always. I wanted to so like for the math ones, we just added a new 10 spooky pumpkins for the upcoming
Yes.
season. So we definitely, and there are a couple of others on our radar that we're looking at around math and counting. One of my favorite ones that we added last winter was 100 snowmen, and just the way that it adds like the compounding sound effects with the with as the snowballs are flying across the page is a lot of fun. Um, you were just making me think about, because you were talking about growth mindset and like just building that community and culture, Heather, and like you have such a wide range of things that you do, and
I
you
do.
yeah, you hit on so many amazing things. I'm actually going to put a link to one of our back to school collections in the chat so folks can go ahead, but you're going to need to grab that link and open it on your mobile device.
And I just had to jump up because Heather, for everybody that's joining us live or is going to watch this afterwards, I'm Mary Alice. I'm behind the screen for this webinar in the chat. But will you let everybody know they should be listening to what books to hear your voice on some of the novel effect sounds escapes? Like they need to know that. I didn't. That's why I had to jump up. So I want you to share that. And I'm going to go right behind the screen again.
Okay. So you can hear me in The Great Escape. I am the I don't know if you'd call me a cashier, but I'm the person who like comes over the speaker at the grocery store. And my son loves to hear me do this. As soon as he hears it, he starts busting up laughing. Attention shoppers. Will you please buy more pickles? And he thought that was absolutely hysterical. And then I'm also in If I Built a School, and I'm Abraham Lincoln.
Nice.
I can't wait to hear that one. I haven't gotten to hear it yet.
It's a lot of fun. I really love that series. It's so much fun. Thank you so much for sharing.
You.
Yeah. And thanks for like just touching upon like the soundscapes and the way music really helps focus and create that calm environment. Which is another added layer and just benefit and bonus of using novel effect with read alouds, is that the benefit of music.
For sure.
Thanks. Oh, all right. Blake, welcome back, my friend. Blake, did you get a chance to
Sorry,
tell
my internet has been wacky just the last few seconds. So can you hear me?
I
Good.
can hear you. Did you get a chance to tell everybody, like you did, right, that you're an administrator and you used to be a media specialist and all that cool jazz?
Yes. So I am a middle school assistant principal now. I used to be a school librarian and a classroom teacher. My wife is a second grade teacher. So my poor little baby Tate is going to be a PK and a TK. And we feel sorry for him having to be one of those children. So, but I still use novel effect all the time. So literacy outcomes, when they did that, I think that it automatically really supports the phonemic awareness and story structure because students are automatically engaged already in the story. So you're going through, it adds to the structure, it adds to the sounds, and let them really see what's going on. It is visually, and it's inferring deeper comprehension and critical thinking because you can pause the story and talk about all the different things that are happening, just like you would do your normal read aloud, because you can it tracks your voice on how you're reading. So it's perfect for stopping, but they're also still engaged with those sounds. But you can stop and ask your questions and everything you want to need to know. And then, like Catherine said earlier, it really helps focus on those vocabulary words because it'll add sounds to those important words that can really help students remember those and become more engaged in the stories. So like I said earlier, some of my favorite stories to do for back to school was the Magical Yet. It's so good. I'm actually going to read this. I read it to my staff with novel effect, and I'm actually going to go around the last Friday of this month and read it to all the classes during the day. And then I did the We Don't Hate Our Classmates. It's so good. And then when I was in the library, I would do lots of things like Women's History Month and Black History Month, all those different things. So it really engaged those nonfiction, those biographies. If you're not familiar, lots of authors are now writing picture book biographies, and I love picture book biographies. And two, my favorite was Whoosh. So it's about the person that invented the water gun. And then another great one was the Shark Lady. The Shark Lady is probably my favorite to do. And it just is so engaging because those are nonfiction texts, but you're adding the sounds in there and you're getting to work on that vocabulary again and that comprehension skills. And they're just so engaged in that story. And another one final one that I wanted to share because this one is one of my absolute favorites, and it is almost fall, so I'm breaking the rules from everyone else, is The Scarecrow. And if you haven't read The Scarecrow, it's so good. And it has so many different sounds in it and talks about emotions in it and really makes the students think about the actions and how people care for them, and it has some vocabulary in it that I can pull out. But it is such a good book. And I've got to meet the author, Beth Ferry, and she's such a nice lady too. But the illustrations in it are just phenomenal. I mean, look at that. Phenomenal in it. And then the kids are just so engaged in this story too. And like I said, it really focuses on that critical thinking skills because they are really having to think about how that scarecrow takes care of the crow and the sacrifices that he's made. And it's just such a wonderful book. So those were my ones that I brought, and then I brought in, of course, the Shark Lady. It's phenomenal, and Whoosh is phenomenal too. And then, like I said, they're learning from that as well. So go back if there are any other administrators on here, great. And if not, you can go back and say to your principal that you know administrators that use Novel Effect and suggest they use it too.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Blake. When you were talking about, first of all, I was just like, holy smokes, your little one is already 4 and going to school. But
No, he's not. He's just 1. You're not crazy.
Oh, okay.
He's already having to go to school and like stay with us while we're working or crawling around school or something already. No, you're not crazy. He'll be 1 at the end of the month. But he does love Novel Effect too. I've read stories with him several nights and done that. So, and then also my favorite time is Halloween to use Novel Effect because it adds all the spooky sound effects to all the stories. So we need to do a Halloween one. That one would be really cool.
Yeah, they're so much fun. I'm going to circle back to that in 1 second. When you were talking though about the TK and the little ones, it just reminded me of, and then when Heather was talking about her son, it just reminded me of like back to school season and how, and also just thinking about what Ben was saying with helping the pre-K kids, like for families and whatnot, and helping our little ones transition to school for the first time or transition back to school is just so helpful and necessary. And we have soundscapes that really help and support families with that transition, like Mama Mama, Llama Llama, Mrs. Mama, and other soundscapes like that. And like Wemberly Worried is another good one to use with that. And so I added the link into some of those titles that if you have a child who is either going to school for the first time or you have a family that you're working with that you want to help them support their child as they're going to school for the first time ever, or just like is a little hesitant, like those are some great reads in there as well.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. I saw Catherine nodding about the Halloween, but you were just making me think because you were talking about visualizing and inferring and just how the soundscapes, especially like with the Halloween, and thinking about the tone and for those specific types of books, and just how the soundscapes can really help with the mood and the tone.
Another one too that I just thought about was Henry's Freedom Box. When I read that, had them hammering him in and all that, it really helped my students really see, and like they really thought about all the things that that the slaves had to go through during that time, and it really they even talked about it, like that really made us think about all the things that happened. So it's really cool like that.
Yeah, you know what you just triggered for something else for me is when you brought up Henry's Freedom Box is because it just I immediately went to another nonfiction title and how a lot of times the soundscapes can help build that background knowledge, right?
Yep.
And that's a really good example with Henry's Freedom Box and how it does that and really helps students really get a really deep understanding so that
Yep.
they can, yeah, and really supports their comprehension.
I
That's a,
agree.
yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming up.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. All right. Oh my goodness, Melissa. Uh-oh, I gotta find you. Where'd you go? There you are. All right, Melissa. Just remember to unmute yourself. And then
I am so sorry. My dog decided she wanted to go out just as you were saying my name as I ran to the door. So,
is that not the way?
yes, at least they're not barking.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I am Melissa King. I am a school librarian. I teach grades pre-K to 5. I'm in Montgomery County, Maryland, at an elementary school in Gaithersburg, Maryland. And I am going to be talking a little bit about book activities. And I also have this, I believe there's a few slides that I wanted to share with you as well with my students, showing my students work. And so you can get an idea if you haven't used the book activities before. This particular slide, I happen to be presenting Novel Effect at Maryland Association of School Librarians last year. And one of my displays was I had brought several books and also brought several of the book activities. And one thing to just mention is that Catherine has really done an outstanding job with them, with the differentiation that she mentioned. Many of them are close to 50 pages long. You have so many choices of different activities to do. And those pictures are just a few of the books that I brought to share during that presentation. So you can go ahead and change the slide. I am also working on my environmental education certification, and I do a lot of things outside with books, and we'll read them inside. Sometimes if it's a book that has a Novel Effect soundscape, I'll read it inside, or even I can bring it outside. Actually, I shouldn't even say that. I can bring it outside with my speaker. So you can do both. And these are just a few of the activities that are in the up and down in the dirt. And a couple of things I wanted to mention is that there's sentence starters. There are some of them have bulletin board displays that you can create. There's grade level discussion questions, home connections. I love the no print novelties. So if you have a little extra time at the end of your class, or you just have a pocket of time, you can pull out some of those activities. And there's even tech tips with links. And so these are 3 of the books that my kids really like a lot. Creepy Crayon has some great sound effects. They love that whole series, Creepy Crayon, Creepy Carrots, the underwear, and it's just a lot of fun to read that. Scooting back to the Dot Day, can you should be the one I think before, in between Creepy Crayon and Up and Down. The Dot has several actually packets of activities around International Dot Day, and that's coming up mid-September. It's one of my favorite days of the year, it's a week for me because I see all my classes throughout the week. And it's just a great book about being brave and doing your best, whatever your best is, and realizing that you don't have to be perfect to be your best, and that when you are brave and create bravely, you're likely going to be inspiring someone else who might be a little afraid to step out of their comfort zone as well. So I use, oftentimes I'll use the activities. I don't always use them. I mean, everybody's, what you do with it is yours, but they're a great way to kind of kickstart what you want to do with the book. And there's so many things to choose from. Trying to think if I forgot any of the things. Oh, I think I said sentence starters. Just finding connections with the books. They mentioned a few times about the soundscape can give you some context for the time period the book is in. It just the kids just really enjoy, and adults too. I have a family book club that we meet usually like every other month, and the parents enjoy just getting involved in the soundscape as well. And then the last thing I put it in the chat, but one of the other things I wanted to mention is that my older students, the fourth and fifth graders, sometimes they'll ask, "Can I read the book instead of you?" And so because they want a chance to read it along with the soundscape, or we might have a day where they just take turns reading aloud to their class, and that's a really great way to practice your fluency and just have a enjoyable time with all those background sounds, the different people that have added their voices to the soundscapes, the music. I think it was Ben who had mentioned, or Blake, I'm sorry, Blake, two B's. Blake had mentioned the scarecrow. That's just a beautiful, beautiful soundscape. And one of the things that was wonderful about that one is that the soundscape artists, there's some of them go out and record sounds in nature. And so the crows were actually crows that he had recorded in nature to put into that soundscape. So I hope that if you haven't tried Novel Effect, you will. It's really a wonderful way to expand the book and make it really enjoyable for everyone. And I think I covered everything on my slide. Yeah, I think I did. Designed for it. Oh, the activities are designed by educators, which is super important to know. I think you mentioned that before. So thanks for letting me share with you all.
Thanks, Melissa. And if you are wondering how to access the book activities, we're really excited. They're now actually in your Novel Effect app. So all you need to do is while you're either scrolling in the Novel Effect app looking for inspiration, or if you know which specific book you want to read, the books with the activities have a little pencil icon on them. That's how you know which one has accompanying activities. You just click it in your app, and if you scroll down, you'll see a little heading that says activity plans, and you can just click. You can either preview them or click get and email to yourself and then print them off. So I love that they are much easier to access now.
Yeah. And we added a couple of different ways that you can find the book activities in the chat as well. We have some other great back to school resources too, in that are just like some really fun features about reading with Novel Effect, is that, the collections of back to school titles that we had shared some of the links to earlier, they're all curated specifically to help you start your school year on a high note and help really lay those foundations. And then like what Melissa and Catherine were saying with the book activities and the craftivities. I don't know if you saw on Instagram, but what do you call it, Catherine? Your door, your bookshelf
Yeah.
door?
Well, we can see it right here.
Yeah.
So one example of a bulletin board display in the Novel Effect app, if you go to do not bring your dragon to the library. We have these printable book spines. So we've seen people have fun recreating this little door I have behind me as like a year-long book bulletin board. A lot of fun stuff. If you follow us on social media, you'll also see some of those ideas. We just posted a really fun one with the Jory John book characters. They're printables that you can find in the app, and they stand up and super cute. So all kinds of fun activities.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I love seeing your reels and whatnot on Instagram. And Deborah was just talking about like the calendars. So we do have read aloud calendars available to download and access on the website. I'll actually post that. And the way that they are set up is that there is a calendar for every month. And if there happens to be a special day, like it was Potato Day the other day, we're going to recommend a book that you could read on that day. And it has the book cover so you can visually see it. Well, that's not nice. It's not working. So my StreamYard's acting funky for some reason. We also have them curated right in the app also. So when you go into the app, you can see like if there is a collection for August read aloud calendars, and it has all the titles right in there. And you can download the entire year or a month at a time. Oh, somebody was asking about your food series characters, Catherine. That you just posted on Instagram.
I don't see a question about it.
An Insta story of the food series characters. Can't wait to print and display all the characters.
Yay. If you guys take pictures of it also and post it on your story or your Instagram and tag us, so we will reshare them. We love seeing like what your students created or what you create with the activity. So always feel free to share and tag us so we can share with everyone.
100%. And then Tiana is another amazing ambassador that we have, and she's actually unable to be with us tonight because it is back to school time and she had an event she had to be at school, but she wanted to share a little bit more about some of the resources that we have available.
My premium novel effect subscription will help me kick off the school year with a splash of fun and interactive learning using books from the Pete the Cat series. Pete the Cat, rocking in my school shoes, and Pete the Cat, I love my white shoes. My preschool library classes will follow along and assist Pete with identifying places in our school building and learning color concepts with the help of novel effects soundscapes. As the preschool librarian of 5 preschool centers, I read to about 800 students weekly. Having a curated collection through Novel Effect makes story time easy for me to plan. I simply look through my library's catalog to find what books I see on Novel Effect that attend to our school's curriculum or to my library lessons. With Novel Effect, every turn of the page is accompanied with lively tunes. They're engaging sound effects, and they capture my students' imaginations and keep them fully engaged. The audio experience not only makes story time more exciting, but it enforces key themes and enhances comprehension. It makes learning fun and memorable for my little ones. And I always look forward to using the downloadable book activities and the crafts with my students. So next week, we will rock and roll with Pete the Cat, making the start of this school year a musical adventure that will have my kiddos singing, dancing, reading, and learning.
Awesome. Thank you, Tiana. I know she's not with us, but I love the way she talks about that. And I think, Tiana was saying with her premium subscription, and I know Melissa said it earlier also, but just wanted to remind everybody that with a premium subscription as an individual educator or as a family member, you get access to all of our soundscapes, and that's over 1,000 and growing every day. You get access to all of our printable book activities directly in your app. All of our in-app ebooks are available also with a premium subscription, and more, because we're always working on more fun and exciting ways. So like I saw somebody else earlier talk about challenges. We have read aloud challenges that we host in the app. We also do things so with a read aloud challenge, we'll invite you to come read with us and read as many books or read as many times as you want and be entered for a chance to win. And having access to all of our premium content in our soundscapes really helps it allow you to participate fully in those. And we also oftentimes have activities like community picks where you can help us select the next soundscape we're going to do, or sometimes we just for fun like to do some voting and see like which soundscape people love the most at that particular time. So we had a March Magic book bracket last year in the app that was a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, Catherine, it is 8:00. We are going to zip through a few things. We were so chatty tonight, but everybody had such great information. So with that, we also have a school plan bundle. And one of the things that I personally love about Novel Effect is that we have an opportunity to spread the love of reading across the school community. And you can do that by having all of the staff having access to an account where they have access to all the activities, all the soundscapes, all of that fun stuff. And with our school plan bundle, not only do your staff have access to all of those amazing read alouds, but so do students in the school. And what a great way for them to build their fluency and their reading comprehension in a really fun and supportive way, because the soundscapes are just designed to give authentic and timely feedback to how students are reading aloud. To learn more about our school plan bundle, Mary Alice actually put a link in to where you can request a quote if you're ready to go ahead, or you can scan that lovely QR code to learn some more information. And one of our amazing customer and school success friends at Novel Effect, staff members at Novel Effect will be really happy to help you out, Haley or Patricia.
It's also a great way if you don't want to spend your own budget, introducing it to your admin so they can use the school funds rather than your own.
Yeah, I just read what Becky was saying about how she wants the staff to share so the kids can use it at home. That is amazing, Becky. 110%, because if the kids are having, and we know that if kids are having fun reading at school, they're going to have fun reading at home. They're going to want to continue that fun outside of school as well. And who doesn't want to build a lifelong love of reading? Like that's one of our goals.
Don't forget also, if you want to have a chance to win a year of Novel Effect, to post a takeaway you learned from this webinar and tag us either on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. Instagram and Twitter is at novel_effect.
Awesome. All right. We have time for questions. You can drop your questions in the chat. Aww. I love reading the comments. So a common question that we get are, what are some of the best soundscapes to start the school year with? What are a couple of your favorites, Catherine?
Some of my favorite soundscapes, definitely Do Not Eat Your Classmate. That one's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
The new Mr. S one that just came out, that's another one that I had never read before, that Novel Effect introduced me to. That one is also really funny and just made a really fun activity for that one with like a 3D sandwich. I'm looking back behind me because all of my bookshelf's right there, but the Halloween books, as we mentioned, like I just love Halloween, and those ones are super popular during the fall. I think just because they're so fun and go with the theme so well and add so much suspense. So I definitely love our fall and Halloween titles. Those definitely get me in the mood for
Yeah.
everything scary and silly.
I know that's your favorite season. 3 of my new favorites, I should say, are Sprout Branches Out. I think that's such a great one. One to help like transition back to school, but also like as a parent, and just help tackling like the way we can shift our perspective a little bit. And then also I think it's a really great growth mindset book to kick off the school year. I just about cried when we read aloud Happy Dreamer as a team. Beautiful by Peter Reynolds, and our soundscape designers did such a great job. Another great like back to school goal setting, knowing who you are and book. And then a fun one is the Pencils on Strike that we just did in Too Much Glue. Like I love those too, about taking care of materials.
I see a couple questions in the chat. One that just popped up, the template for the book display behind me, that's going to be if you search in the app for Do Not Bring Your Dragon to the Library, it's in that activity plan. And you can just click get an email to yourself.
Yep.
There was also a question about how do teachers add books in their classroom for families to access at home? And she said Novel Effect Classroom. So if parents are using it at home, they will have access to all of the books in the app.
Yeah. Yep. They will. And then I know, like, I may not be specifically what Connie's speaking to, but one of the things that I did as a school librarian and library media specialist is I used the spine stickers to put on the book spine so that it made it really easy for kids to find the books that they could use with Novel Effect outside of the library and at home. And so that made it super easy to help transfer that reading adventure from school to home. Well, Jen, you want to take that one, Catherine?
Sure. I was just going to say, Jen, if you're interested in becoming an ambassador, Mary Alice actually helps us run our ambassador program, and I'm sure she would love to help you get on that. So I think if you I'm not sure if you want to drop your email in for everyone. But if Mary Alice, if you want to drop your email in the chat and then anyone interested could email you, that might be better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thanks so much, Mike. That's really nice of you to say. Oh yeah, Pete the Cat. Thanks, Monica. Oh yeah, the Dave Pilkey book is a lot of fun also. There was another question I saw that I was like, oh no. Oh my gosh. It's nighttime. There are some crazy noises going on outside my house right now. I think that's part of like living behind the farm and all the animals. Awesome. I think, guess what? I think that's all we got. I'm going to bring up our amazing ambassadors so that they can. Thank you guys so much for sharing and all the work and preparation you did. I know Heather had to go be with her family. You guys are amazing. Thanks for all the things and all the ways that you just instill a love of reading with kids and help support them.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. It was great hearing from you.
You're very welcome. I love books. So anything about books, I'm here.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you for having us. It was really great getting to share some of our favorite books.
Yep, I agree. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. I know you will get an email with a link to watch in case you hopped on late or you missed something or you want to catch the replay, or if you know someone who is unable to make it they'll be able to sign up and watch the recording afterwards. We hope everybody has an amazing start to their school year. For those of you who already started a couple weeks ago, we hope that you're just knocking it out of the park. And we know you are. And thank you for all that you guys do. We hope you have a great 2024-25 school year.